Welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Greetings, Jackie. Nice to see you. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Nikki. Hello, Catherine. Feel free to jump in, guys, and say hello. Oh, another Jackie with a Q. I love it. Hi, Jackie. And Jackie Price, yes, you do hear Koshi bells. It's the, well, I guess, no, not Koshi bells. This is a Kimbala. Is that how you say it? Kalimba. It's a kalimba. It's from Meditative Mind. That's a YouTube channel for those who aren't familiar. Let's see who else is here today. Blessings, Charlotte from Florida. Good morning, Kirby. Anik, good morning. Missed you on Friday. Yeah, I have a whole thing to say about Friday. Duchess, happy day. Love you all. Lovely Duchess, welcome. Hello, Sirkin. Hi, Bonnie. If you are not familiar with me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I am your favorite spiritual problem solver, and I join you from Northern Illinois. Today we're here to talk about some of the astrological transits that are happening, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards to tap into these astrological transits. Okay, Jackie says my picture is amazing today. Cool. I'll be asking more about internet stuff in a minute. Sirkin, I like your aquarium. Thank you. So actually, someone from Insight Timer came over for a session, and then I showed them behind the curtain, like this is where I film Insight Timer, and they were very surprised with how small my aquarium actually is. You're seeing most of it right there. It's a 25 gallon, if that means anything to you guys, but I just wanted to break the illusion for anyone who thought I had a giant aquarium back there. Carmen says, good morning from Toronto. Welcome, Carmen. So guys, on Thursday, hello, Cherry Berry. Welcome, beautiful soul. On Thursday, Pluto entered Aquarius. All right, so we'll talk all about that. But essentially, Pluto is the destroyer, and Aquarius represents internet, right? Like Aquarius rules the internet. So on Thursday, it wasn't even like the astrology part of my brain that put that together, but I was like, man, my internet's running really slow. I'm going to try to restart my modem and router. So I did. And then when they came back on, I had zero Wi-Fi. And I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like troubleshooting, and I was calling the internet company and all that stuff. So Pluto in Aquarius literally destroyed my internet connection, which I thought was just so ironic. And I couldn't have anyone come out to take a look at it until Friday. So I had to cancel, or until Saturday. I'm sorry. So Saturday afternoon, someone came to look at our system. But on Friday, I had to cancel the Insight Timer session. That was all. I've been talking about Pluto entering Aquarius for years, and I had to cancel that session because Pluto entered Aquarius, essentially. So Pluto, even though he destroys where he is, he gives power back to the parts that are left over after the disruption, like after destroying things. So the reality of the situation was that our router took a crap and it didn't work anymore. So we had to buy a new router. So I was thinking oh, maybe Pluto is giving power to our connection now that it has been lost. Maybe that's why I've been having all of these weird Insight Timer audio and video things and things. So it was nice to hear. I think it was Jackie who said that my video looks nicer today, so maybe that means that I have better connection, which I would be okay with. I would be very happy with that, and I would not be surprised if this session goes very, very smoothly. I see that, Charlotte's having some difficulties with the comments, and people are being very helpful. Thank you guys for troubleshooting with her. Hello, Jane. Nice to see you. Bonnie says, good morning from the Turnpike. I feel like I should know where that is, but I don't. Duchess says, everything is absolutely clear. Okay, cool. Hello, Lynn. All right, so let's get to chatting about astrology, because today I'm going to talk about the quick version of what I was going to talk about on Friday, and then I also need to tell you everything that's happening this week, because I will not be here until next Monday because my retreat is this week. So, good morning, Jacqui. We have so many Jacquies here today. I think there's 4, including myself. I love it. I love it. All right, so here's the breakdown. We're going to talk about 5 things today. On Thursday last week, Pluto entered Aquarius. We'll go a little bit more into detail with that. Then on Saturday, Mars entered Cancer. We'll talk more about that. This week, tomorrow, Mercury is coming conjunct to Jupiter. And then on Thursday, numbers 4 and 5, we have Mars trining Saturn. And we have Venus coming conjunct to Uranus. So lots of astrology words, and I will explain them one by one. Let's see. Charlotte said, funny, I've gone out and come back in, still nothing, and I can't see any comments. So hard to troubleshoot ideas I can't see. As long as I can hear Jacqui, I'm good. That's right. You know what's funny is you said you can't see the comments, and then people are commenting, telling you how to fix it. That's really funny. I didn't even put that together. So Charlotte, yes, their suggestions were to leave and come back in, and others were saying to maybe try to update the app, or restart your iPhone or your phone, whatever kind of phone you use. Or maybe if you have a computer, try insighttimer.com and see if that helps. So thanks, Pluto and Aquarius. So Pluto entered Aquarius on Thursday, March 23rd. And he will be there until June 11th this year, because he's going to retrograde until January of next year. So just for, March, April, May. So like 2.5 months, we get this little like flavor tester of what's to come with Pluto and Aquarius. So as I said, Pluto is the destroyer. He digs deep into wherever he is in the sky, but he gives power to whatever remains. So he'll dig up all the nasty stuff. He exposes a lot of nasty stuff that we might not want to see, but we need to see. He'll show it and be like, here's the depths of all of these themes. What do you want to keep? What do you want to throw out? And whatever we keep is empowered. Aquarius has a few things that it rules. So Aquarius rules over our technology. So an example of literally my internet going out the day that Pluto entered Aquarius, I still can't believe that happened, is an exact example of destroying an Aquarius theme, but then empowering what remains. So themes with technology could be destroyed. And because of like all the solar flares that all these people are talking about that I don't understand fully, but you know, it's been in my ears for some time, like those are said to take out our internet. So, you know, just like have your friends like addresses handy in case the internet goes down and then we need to communicate the old-fashioned way. If you use the internet, or if you use like technology a lot for what you do day to day, and I'm not saying nothing needs to be fear-based. This is all just like make it a game. Like, what if this happened? How would I rely on my natural resources? So I'm not saying that like the internet will go out forever, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have more difficulties than normal between now and the middle of June. So just think about what your backup plan might be. Heidi says, I wonder how it will affect my son's incarceration of 2 years, trying to get him into dual diagnosis program. Otherwise, he remains. How does Pluto affect people? So Heidi, this would play into wherever Aquarius is in your son's natal chart. I would not be surprised if Aquarius rules his 10th house, because when I think incarceration, I think like boundary, like Saturn energy, like Capricorn holding you down. So that's why I said 10th house. But as far as like, I don't know what a dual diagnosis program is, but Aquarius also, so here's another one. Aquarius represents the future. So Pluto in Aquarius can break down what we thought our future would look like. So think about how much playroom you have with that, right? If you thought your future was glim, is that even a word? Grim? Gloomy? I think I just combined them. If you thought your future looked negative, here comes Pluto. My goodness, where are my words today? Here comes Pluto to break all that down, to empower the best parts of it. Or, similarly, if you have a very good outlook on your future, maybe here comes Pluto to break that all down because he has something better in mind for you. So, Aquarius also represents aviation. Was it the 20s? Never mind. I thought I was making a connection, but it means nothing. So anything with like air travel could be, like things need to be broken down before they're reinvented. And Aquarius is the sign of revolution. So the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, and if you guys listen to other astrologers, or you just hear it on social media and all that stuff, like literally everyone is talking about Pluto in Aquarius right now. And why is it such a big deal is because Pluto takes about 250 years to go all the way around the zodiac circle. So he spends just about like 20 years in a sign. So it's kind of a big deal that he's coming back to Aquarius, because no one alive has experienced Pluto in Aquarius. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was in the late 1700s, 1778 to 1798. And there are three major things that, I'm not the best at history, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's all a made-up story, but whatever. But in that time period when Pluto was in Aquarius before, we saw the American Revolution, we saw the French Revolution, and we also saw the Industrial Revolution, I think. Feel free to check me on my time. But yeah, Aquarius, the revolutionary. So we're breaking down stuff that doesn't work, and then we are going to revolutionize it, give it power for the people. Aquarius represents the community, the collective. Yeah, very special time then. So Jesse, Aviation just booked a huge trip to Europe this summer. So Pluto will go back into Capricorn on June 11th. Predictions with astrology are just that. It's just predictions, like I'm not a fortune teller. Free will also plays a lot into the planets. And actually, I like the way that Pam Gregory puts this. Pam Gregory is a wonderful astrologer, if you guys want to check her out. The planets, the chart, is just the blueprint, and we co-create with the planets. So just because Pluto, and I've said this before on Insight Timer too, I could talk for 4 hours about every single possible thing that Pluto can do in Aquarius. Like, each planet has a plethora of archetypes, and each zodiac sign has a plethora of archetypes. So it's all about how you choose to interact. We create our own reality, right? So if you have this in the back of your mind, like, oh, maybe my flight's gonna go down, maybe my flight's gonna go down, there's a better chance that you're going to mess with that future event. Or you can say, it might happen, but I'm gonna focus on this aspect of Pluto and Aquarius. Then there's a really good chance that it won't happen. So that's my quick little blurb about Pluto and Aquarius. I'm sure I'll talk about that a lot more as the time moves on. But let's also talk about this Saturday. So this already happened. Mars entered Cancer. Mars will be in Cancer from Saturday, March 25th until May 20th. So we have like 2 months of this energy. Mars is the planet of, he's the war god. That's just like the quickest way to describe him. But he's the planet of action, following our passion. And I wrote action twice, so I guess just double action Mars. Cancer is the sign of cardinal water. So cardinal signs are the ones that are at the start of the season. They are like the spark of energy. They get the ball rolling. Water is the element of emotions and intuition. So Cancer is the sign that, like, does something with their emotions or does something with their intuition. It's not the ponderer who just sits there and is like, oh, I'm feeling sad, I'm gonna sit with this sadness. No, like, I feel sad, what do I do with it? How do I use this sadness to do something? So with Mars in Cancer, I feel this theme of acting through your emotions, acting because of your emotions, acting in honor of your emotions. And that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm angry, so I'm gonna lash out at this person. The highest expression of Mars in Cancer is saying, I'm angry, what can I do with this to benefit myself and the collective? So this is the energy of allowing emotions and intuitions to guide you through your emotions. That seems like I just said the same thing twice, but allowing your emotions to tell you the story of what, like, it, allowing, let me get this through. Using your feelings to guide you through what they want to tell you and what they want you to do with them for the next 2 months. Cancer is also the ruler of the heart. So, and because I was talking to my sister about this weekend, and she was asking about Pluto and Mars and what all that means. And as soon as I said, oh, well, Mars in Cancer is about acting through emotion, her mind first went to like, oh no, like everyone's going to be lashing out, everyone's going to be like aggressive or like, you know, like revengeful. But Cancer rules the heart. So I see this more as acting out of compassion, leading with the heart. And then Mars will be in Cancer for the rest of Aries season and throughout Taurus season. So I'm feeling like while the sun is in Aries, this may feel like fighting for the underdog, warrior energy from Aries with that heart energy from Mars in Cancer, wanting to act out of compassion for those who can't really act for themselves. And then 3 things are happening this week that are kind of, they build on each other, which I think is so beautiful. So tomorrow, Mercury is conjunct Jupiter. So that means that they'll both be at 18 degrees of Aries. If you'd like to get specific with astrology, you can look at where 18 degrees of Aries is in your birth chart. You can just look to see like where the middle of the Aries little section is. So Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter is the planet that expands, grows, gives abundance, gives luck, just that large like Santa Claus Kool-Aid man energy is Jupiter. In Aries, cardinal fire. So Jupiter is expanding that cardinal fire. I'm feeling that Jupiter here is like boosting that first step type energy, boosting our new ideas for personal growth. Aries is all about the self. So coming conjunct to Mercury, Mercury is the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication. This is like monumental new ideas for self-growth. I'm seeing sparks of light here. Jupiter just like off the chain, but coming from the mind in a good way. And this is happening while Mars is in Cancer, so I'm seeing this even more taking action through your emotion. It's taking that first step towards solving that problem that your intuition, that your inner knowing is calling you to move toward. And then on Thursday, 2 things are happening in the sky. On Thursday, Mars trines Saturn, and Venus comes conjunct to Uranus. So Mars trine Saturn. They're both at 2 degrees of their signs. So Mars is at 2 degrees of Cancer on Thursday. Saturn will be at 2 degrees of Pisces. Trines are harmonious aspects. It's like they're giving a high five across the sky. Like, hey, I got you. My energy supports your energy. Let's do it. So Mars with Saturn represents action with regulation in the water signs of emotion and intuition. So I see this as making a plan of action, Saturn planning, Mars action, making a plan of action for these new ideas with Mercury conjunct Jupiter earlier in the week. And Saturn is also like the father time archetype. So Saturn is helping you plan and get your ducks in a row in order to act. Mars, in order to act through your emotion, through your heart. And then on that same day, Thursday, Venus comes conjunct to Uranus. This is happening at 16 degrees of Taurus. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony. Uranus is the planet of unexpected, shocking change. So how I feel this is a radical act of love. Oh my gosh, with that Mars and Cancer energy too. I'm just feeling so much love this upcoming week. And then Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so she's very, very comfortable there. And Uranus is not very comfortable in Taurus because Uranus is all about being out there and different and just like blah. And Taurus is very simple and basic and let's do things the same way because it works. So I feel like Venus is softening that Uranus energy in Taurus this week as well. So Taurus represents simplicity. It's our basic needs: love, food, water, shelter. Taurus represents Mother Earth and also the physical body. So I would not be surprised if you're feeling drawn to have these like radical acts of love through those things. Like if you have this radical plan this week of like, well, I'm going to start a community garden. Like that's a very Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Or I'm just going to go clean up the side of the highway because I feel like I love Mother Earth and that's just what I'm going to do. Or I'm going to spend an extra 20 minutes stretching every day this week, something radical. And I could also see this as being pleasantly surprised, Venus conjunct Uranus, pleasantly surprised with yourself and your ability to love. So give yourself a pat on the back when you do act out of compassion. Being surprised and proud of your willingness to act through your heart. I'm feeling so much heart energy this week too. And this can also look like being surprised with others' inclination to act through the heart. So don't be afraid to accept love from others. I feel so much love in the sky right now, for this upcoming week especially. So that's what I got for the astrology today. And then I have actually 3 different decks with me today. And this is how I'm thinking of doing today's reading. I'm thinking of asking one deck for a card from Pluto, asking another deck for a card from Mars, and then asking the last deck for a card just to represent this whole week with that Mercury conjunct Jupiter, Mars trine Saturn, and Venus conjunct Uranus. So we're going to do that. I'm going to shuffle all of them and then we'll read it all together. So a card from Pluto is going to come from Ask Your Guides. So if you guys want to send your energy into this deck, let's intend to connect with Pluto and let's ask for a message from Pluto the Destroyer. Like, what do you want us to know about your upcoming time in Aquarius? Just what would you like us to keep in mind? And I'll shuffle this first while the energy is fresh. And then once I get this card, I'll show you guys the next ones. As I'm shuffling, can you guys let me know, like, how is my video? Is my audio good? How's all of that going? I haven't seen any chats come through in 11 minutes. And I just want to double check if that's a me thing or if you guys were just digesting all the information. But here, is a message from Pluto? All right. And then we're going to ask for a message from Mars. And this is going to come from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. I can't tell you why I chose these decks. It just felt right when I was looking at my stack, my stash of decks. So a message from Mars will come from Angels and Ancestors. And if you guys would like to send your energy into this deck, tuning into the energy of Mars in Cancer, acting through the heart, right? Acting through our emotions, acting through our intuition. And let's ask. And your messages just came through. Let them load. The video is choppy at times, but it sounds good. Audio video seems okay. Tiny blips and delays. Screen is sometimes blurry, but the sound is very good. That's important. Oh, Carmina, I just saw that. Giant sequoias have lived through Pluto in Aquarius. That's very interesting, actually. There have been little blips here and there. Might be on my end. Lapse between voice and video. But Duchess says all good. Nikki says all good. I just got here. Welcome, Nikki. Kirby, it looks good. Okay, I just wanted to check in, and if you guys had been sending chats and they all just came through, sorry. But today is going to be a beautiful, no, today is a beautiful connection day. Internet connection, heart connection, soul connection, all of the above. So we're asking for a Mars message. A message from Mars in Cancer for all the beautiful souls here right now. Lovely. And lastly, we're going to ask for a message for this upcoming week. Like this, all this love, love, love energy. And you might not be surprised if you hang out with me a lot here. We're going to use Work Your Light to ask for a message of all the transits happening this week. Acting out of love. So if you would like to send your energy into this deck, tuning in, you know what? Let's ask our higher selves today. Let's work with the energy of our higher selves collectively to get a message for this week. How to best utilize the available energies in the skies this week. Love it. All right, so let's talk to Pluto first. So we asked Pluto what he wants us to know, specifically from now till June, like his first little blip in Aquarius. So the card that came out, and so, okay, so this like tried to come out, but it wasn't fully out, and I'm like, no, I don't like that card. I'm gonna keep shuffling, and then it flew out of the deck. So this message really wanted to come out today. It is card number 45, Life Force, and this comes from Aphrodite. And the key words for this card are seduction, libido, sexuality, and attraction. Your sexuality is awake and on fire, and your lustier appetites are in search of satisfaction. You are attractive, seductive, and powerful, and a green light of availability to a sexual partner is flashing. This is what makes the world go round, and nothing is more intriguing and exciting than your life force asserting itself. The key to enjoying this fiery essence is containment. You must control and direct your life force energy rather than allow it to control and overwhelm you. Otherwise, you can become mindlessly addicted to your senses, which can be debilitating and enslaving. Delight in your sensual self, but be discriminating about where it leads you. Use your judgment. Raw life force is best partnered with reason and the greater force of love to bring you to the heightened state of ecstasy you seek. Trust the sensual goddess Aphrodite as she unleashes your passions, but respect her as well. Her message for you: use your fiery passions creatively, not destructively. So something about this, I'm just going to be totally transparent today. Like, something about this card makes me uncomfortable. And it's just talking about sexual energy. And as I was reading that card, I honestly feel like I didn't even hear what I just read to you guys. I was in my head the whole time. But I was trying to figure out like why it's so uncomfortable for me to talk about it. And I think that's just pointing to me like getting my shadows worked through with this type of energy. But then I was trying to think like why Pluto in Aquarius? Why are we talking about life force energy with Pluto in Aquarius? And I'm glad to hear that you guys needed to hear this. That makes me very, very happy. But let's go a little bit deeper. Pluto, the destroyer, right? But Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign that rules sexuality. It rules the reproductive organs. So another layer to the message of this card that I was getting was to like dig into your desires, maybe where Aquarius is in your chart. Hold on, there's more coming. Because like Pluto, Scorpio, they both dig deep all the way down to expose. They expose. They show, right, Katie, they show shame. However, this is Pluto in Aquarius. So if you took messages from the words that I read from this, great, that was for you. Good morning, Helen. But if this extra part is resonating with you, I would suggest just looking at where Aquarius is in your chart, specifically the beginning of Aquarius, because that's where Pluto is and will be this year. And like try to dig into that area of your life to look at those shadows, to expose what you don't want to look at in that area of your life, and then use that Mars and Cancer energy to do something with those emotions. Not do something to those emotions. You know, I'm not saying to shove down that shame or that guilt or that regret or that sadness or that loss, whatever is there in the Aquarius part of your chart right now. Create with it. Life force, creation. Do something with it. Make something with it. Carmina, Aquarius is in my 8th house. Scary coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence and nothing is scary unless you say that it's scary. But I get what you're talking about. I guess you're just digging to the depths of everything. That's your goal right now. Katie, so we can take back the shame, create our own narrative. So I've been having a lot of dreams day by day by day by day. Every day I'm having dreams about just like people from my past who I had connections with. And then yesterday I was led to start doing cord cuttings. So yesterday I did a cord cutting with my high school boyfriend. Man, that felt good. That was really good. You know, and it's not like I'm like consciously thinking about him every single day, but he came up in my dream and I'm like, all right, it's time to sever some energy. And then today I did a cord cutting with my high school best friend who we're still like friendly, but we don't talk all the time. But I'm like, I don't know. I just think there's some weird energy that's been there since high school. Yeah, I don't remember why I said that, but I just wanted to share that with you guys, I guess. Fiorella says, I have 0 Aquarius in my chart. So Fiorella, what you are saying is that you don't have any planets or points in Aquarius, but Aquarius does show up in every single person's natal chart. Aquarius is a constellation in the sky that was relative to everything else when you were born. So when I say look for where Aquarius falls in your chart, what I mean is look on the outside of your chart and look for the 2 squiggle lines that represent Aquarius, and then see what house line is in that glyph of Aquarius. So that's the house that's ruled by Aquarius. And that house, you can then look up like themes of whatever house, and that's what I mean. Let's see, Samantha, you mean you've been cutting cords? Interesting. Yeah, we're all connected for a reason. Duchess, I privately sensually dance so I can safely express my sexuality. It helps heal. I like that, Duchess. And you cord cut. Nikki and Samantha are asking about cord cutting. So the way that I do it, and it's all intuitive. Like, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this work. Like, I'll give you my blueprint, use what works, and then switch whatever doesn't, and follow what feels right for you. But what I do is I sit in my chair. I just sit upright because that's what's most comfortable for me. You can sit, you can lay down, whatever works for you. And I first, just to get grounded, like I send a grounding cord down to Mother Earth, just like we do when I used to do the grounding meditations here. But like I root myself down, I feel Mother Earth's energy, and then I open my crown and I feel the divine energy, and I just become a vessel of connection to top and bottom. That's just how I center. But the cord cutting part is, in my meditative state, I just imagine the person who I want to cut cords with. They come and they sit down in front of me, and it's like a friendly conversation, you know? And their personality seems to just like immediately come out. Even if it's someone I haven't talked to in years, it's just like, oh, there they are again. So then I usually have a quick conversation just saying it's all about gratitude and compassion. You have to go into this with gratitude and compassion. Otherwise, you're not going to like allow yourself to do the process. If you go into this with contempt or anger or those types of feelings, I just don't feel like it would serve your highest good. So the gratitude and compassionate conversation I have with them is saying like, thank you for helping me grow to be the person I am today. Like, thank you for your interactions. I understand why X, Y, and Z may have happened in our relationship. I want to see it from your point of view. And then especially like when you are double connected, you're grounded and you're connected above, it's just like, you see things more clearly. It's like you can see their intentions outside of your ego. So yeah. And the 2 people I did it for today and yesterday, I just started doing this, and this is a practice I want to do for a while I clear out a bunch of stuff. But it was just so interesting that both of the people I sat down with were like important boys in my life when I was a teenager. And I just feel all this nervous energy. And that's still a theme in my life. Like, my husband, God bless him, but he's a nervous Nelly. And it's just so interesting to watch. Like, wow, I've been attracted to this type of energy for a long time. So anyway, so then I thank them for how the relationship served. I'm going into way too much detail. And then it's all intuitive. I just feel. I just look in my mind's eye. I just look at my body. And I try to feel into, like, where is this cord? Where are we connected? You know, sometimes you can have a cord from your heart. A lot of times you have a cord from your solar plexus, your upper belly. Sometimes you can have a cord from your sacral, your sex chakra, your root chakra, if it was that type of relationship. You can have cords literally anywhere on your body. There's no right or wrong way to feel a cord. The important part of cord cutting is the intention. It's not to screw them over. It's not to like sever a relationship. Like I did the cord cutting with one of my current friends this morning. Like I intend to still continue our friendship, but I was cutting the cord of what we may have taken from each other in the past. When you are in any kind of relationship with someone, friendship, partnership, acquaintance, like any time that your energy interacts with someone else, there could be unconscious energy borrowing from each other. So with the cord cutting, because it's not the same every time, but like this morning I looked into myself and I was like, well, what do I have that's his? And it was a little bit of self-confidence. Like I happened to have some of his self-confidence. So I gave that back to him. And then I looked into him and I asked what he had of mine, and it was the same. He had some of my self-confidence. So I just watched the energy come back to its rightful owner, solidify it, just feel into it. And then however you want to envision this cord being cut, like yesterday I used a giant pair of scissors. Today I used like a karate chop kind of motion, just because whatever feels right. And then when the cord is cut, all my energy comes back to me and they just disappear. Like they just go back to their lives. And I trust that they're happy and healthy and content. And then I just take the time to feel into my wholeness and like thank the process, thank my guides, blah, 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 blah. So that was like a 20-minute explanation of something that took me 5 minutes this morning. But I hope that all of that helped you. You're welcome, Nikki. Lynn says, I'm practicing a similar meditation. It's beautiful to connect with loved ones. Yes, 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 yes. And yeah, this doesn't need to, you're welcome, Samantha. This doesn't need to be something that you're doing out of like, oh, I just gotta get this person off my back. But like, if someone from your past is in your, like you keep thinking about them, they might have something that's yours. Wade says, I've heard them referred to as soul ties. Cutting those cords can be a part of forgiving them or yourself, and disconnecting from what no longer serves. Absolutely, Wade. I love that, a soul tie. There's another practice. I don't know where it comes from, but I have a friend who practices shamanic stuff, and she has done it for me. It's called a soul retrieval. And it's the same thing. It's like finding a part of your soul that was sometimes intentionally, most of the times unintentionally borrowed by someone else and held on to by someone else. And that's usually people that you've had a deep connection with, like a physical connection with. It could be anyone though. Yeah. Carmina says, Denise Lynn and Jean Hayner have written about cord cutting. Insight Timer has many meditations on cord cutting too. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely look up guided meditations if you need that support to do it the first couple times. Anik, thank you for sharing all that interesting. I definitely have a few hangers that appear in dreams. And this doesn't need to be a huge thing. Like I said, this morning it took me 5 minutes, Both times I had a lot of tears, but that's just how I release. I love cry. I cry like every day, guys. If you didn't know that, it's usually like a 30-second, 1 minute, just like, this is what I'm getting out today, and move on. Lucy says, I haven't been able to get my ex off my mind recently. Yeah, try it. Nikki, I think I came here for a reason. I've been having recurrent dreams of a past connection and have been really distracting and bothering me. This helps. Yeah, your subconscious will do that kind of stuff. It will bring stuff into your awareness as like it's like knocking on the door, like, hello, you gotta take care of this. I'm just letting you know. All right, let's get back to the reading. But I'm glad that we had such a good discussion about that card. Yeah, this is all divine and beautiful. If you're enjoying today's session, if you guys wanted to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, those are always appreciated but never expected. You can follow me on Insight Timer if you haven't done so you can get updated when I post my new classes. I also post all of these replays on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go back and re-listen to stuff, you can just search my name, Jacqui Mancuso, on YouTube and subscribe there so you can see when I post all my stuff. I post my podcast on my YouTube channel as well. Yeah, just wanted to get that out there before I forget. So then we asked angels and ancestors for a card from Mars. What would Mars like us to know while he is in Cancer? And the message that came through from Mars is Stargazer. Set your sights higher. I love this. Go beyond your limitations and believe that the impossible is possible. Ooh. Do you ever remember wishing on a star when you were a child and in your innocence believing that your wish would come true? The Stargazer connects with the energy of the cosmos and reminds you that you have the ability to draw in support from the universe. His cloak, with its sparkles and light, shows that you are closer to the energy of the universe than you think. You don't have to go looking for it. It's already there. So look beyond where you are and create even bigger dreams, visions, and goals. Because with the power and help of the cosmos, those wishes can come true. You are on the verge of a miracle. All of your dreams and aspirations are within your grasp, and you are being guided to focus on your vision. The angels who are with you are encouraging you. There is nothing that you cannot have or achieve. There's an opportunity at this time to heal an old wound or pattern of lack and not feeling good enough. In the past, you've often found it impossible to recognize your worth and to believe that you are deserving of blessings. Angel and ancestor wisdom is reminding you that you are an incredible and infinite spark of the universe. And the universe is not only within you, it absolutely adores you. You are talented, filled with strength, and have the abilities you need to turn your wildest dreams into reality. I love it. This card feels like Mars in Cancer to me. Cancer, water sign, intuition, whatever your higher self is asking or like pushing you to desire, whatever you desire, you're guided to desire that, right? Like there's a reason why you want what you want. It's because it's your higher self telling you, like, this is what you deserve. This is where you are meant to go. Want it? And use that Mars energy to act on it. I feel like this card beautifully lines up with all of those aspects that are happening this week, with all of that, like, rebellious acts of love, acting for the underdog. Like, sometimes you are your own underdog. Sometimes you need to give yourself that little boost and, like, be your own big brother, be your own big sister. Perfect card info, Helen. Thank you, Rhonda, for your donation. Helen says, Carmina, Sequoia, and Redwoods have all lived through Pluto in Aquarius, so will all souls here and everywhere. Absolutely. Fiorella, I do not have Instagram, but my link tree is in my Insight Timer bio, and you can connect with me in all sorts of places. What else is coming through for this? This is like the perfect message of saying, just because Mars in Cancer is acting on your emotions, acting on your intuition. My gosh, just like stop thinking. We also have Aries energy right now. We have Aries, Sun in Aries. That's the energy of act now, think later. Feel through the Cancer energy and then act on it. And whatever it is that you desire is right there for you. Don't be, what did I say earlier about Venus conjunct Uranus? Like, don't be surprised if other people are more loving towards you. Don't be surprised if you find this love within yourself to act upon. Love is always the answer. Always. Always, always. If you ever need an answer, just ask yourself, how would love do it? WWLD. What would love do? Anik says, this was 100%. I love it. I love it. You're having a good reading today, Anik. Thank you very much for your donation, Charlotte. I appreciate it. Helen, our emotions are really our best friends. Absolutely. 100%. Okay. Here's another little anecdote before we get to the last card. Yesterday, I'm actually very proud of my business TikTok. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be my business. Well, I have a TikTok channel, and I am in my early 30s, and I just have been so resistant to TikTok for a long time. Finally downloaded it a couple months ago, and I have been like playing around with what I want to put on the platform. But what I've been doing lately is, so I'm reading this book by Anthony DeMello. It's called 1 Minute Wisdom. So every day I read one little passage. It's like an anecdote, a story, just a quick little, what are those called? Like a fable? Is that what it's called? Or it's like a quick little story that teaches you wisdom. And then on TikTok, I like type it out and I put it to like music that makes sense and like an image that makes sense and whatever. So if you're into that stuff, check that out. But yesterday I posted a really, really good one, and it made a lot of sense, and it was very relevant to stuff that happened in my personal life. And then Helen saying that emotions really are our best friends. So the thing that I posted yesterday was about fear. So like, what is it that holds us back from enlightenment is fear. And what is fear is it's a delusion. So how do you escape the delusion and reach enlightenment? Is you realize that all of the snakes that we think are snakes are really flowers. All of the emotions that we think are scary are really just trying to help us out. Everything that seems like, oh no, I need to be afraid of that. No, just to ask it. Like, what am I supposed to do with you? How can I grow from you? You know, the attachment to the emotions is what makes them feel so much. The observation of emotions is what makes them great teachers. Duchess loves Anthony DeMello. Yeah, me too. Charlotte, did anyone else notice a new donation page? Different and then an added fee. Also says 0 goes to Insight Timer. Thanks for bringing that up, Charlotte, because yesterday someone texted me and asked if that was a thing, but I hadn't been on Insight Timer yet. So I think, this is just a question, I think Insight Timer is doing something different with their donations, and it might be because lots of teachers have been vocal about donations. But I think that instead of like your donation getting split a little bit to the teacher, a little bit to Insight Timer, a little bit to Apple, Google, whatever, I think now like your donation is truly coming to me, and the fee is what goes to the other, like to the processing stuff. I think that's what seems logical. So I hope that helps. And Alice, I did not know that Anthony DeMello has talks on Insight Timer. I'll have to look that up. Thank you. I love Anthony DeMello. Awareness was the book that I read that first started this whole awakening for me. And it was so timely. I read it in like 2 sittings. And that was when I was at a time where I like hated reading because I couldn't stop thinking while I was reading. And that book just like sucked me in. It made so much sense. Helen says, no fear, only courage to keep moving ahead and through. Violet says they're trying to give all the donations to the teachers. I appreciate that. I think that's great. I understand that, you know, like Insight Timer needs to pay their people, but there was just so many issues. And I just hated like asking because then I knew that it was going to be like a whole rigmarole to figure out if it went through and not and all that stuff. But everything always works out. Everything always works out. All right, so then we asked Work Your Light for a message from the transits that are happening this week. Just as a reminder, that is Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Aries. That is Mars trine Saturn, Pisces, Cancer. And that is Venus conjunct Uranus. So this is like that very much like having new ideas, having large ideas about how to act with love and planning out how to act with love. Lucy, that was Awareness by Anthony DeMello. The cover has a beautiful sunset on it. Jacqui says, so synchronous that I'm hearing about fear and courage. I was focused on changing fear to courage last week in preparation for travel. Everything's connected. Love it. All right, guys. Message from our higher selves for this week is boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Asks Saturn, by the way. You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal. But before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand, and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cords to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is your second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is it trying to communicate with you? Where in your life do you need to establish better boundaries? So I love that this card wraps up our talk here today, especially about that whole cord cutting situation that we talked about in the beginning. And what comes through for me with creating boundaries, especially with this card coming from our higher selves regarding all of this acting through love type energy this week, in my experience, boundaries for me were impossible until I cultivated more self-love. When I had no boundaries, I also had no respect for myself. But I didn't see it like that when I was going through that. I saw it as, look at how giving and loving I am. Everyone will know me as that over-giving person. I wanted to be seen as the person that you could count on for everything. And I would do so by always saying yes, always doing everything I could because I knew that I could, so I should. That's what my gut feeling was. I can do it, so I should do it because it's a nice thing to do. Then I started going on this spiritual awakening journey, and I started learning how to love myself, and I started learning how to rely on the universe for things and not necessarily other people for things. And then I started learning how to rely on myself for things, and not in a difficult way, like not in a hard way, like, oh, I gotta get myself through this, but it was like, oh, I have the power to do this. So then I started loving myself a lot more, and I started respecting myself a lot more, and that's when boundaries started to make sense. It's more, and this is something I'm still working on, you know, like I'm not perfect at this, but it's more important to me to say no when I'm not able to give 100%. Because then I'm reserving my energy to say yes to things that I'm meant to say yes to. Setting a boundary doesn't mean that you're being mean. And if the person requesting you is like offended that you say no to them, that's something that they need to work through. But I love when other people set boundaries, because I am a person who's not afraid to ask for stuff. And I love hearing no, because that lets me know that like they value themselves, and I'm not upset by it at all. And I feel like a lot more people have that type of mentality, and we're like afraid to say no to people. But that Venus conjunct Uranus, that like rebellious act of love, I'm seeing the boundary setting as a rebellious act of self-love. Like, I would normally say yes to this, but today I'm gonna say no because I need to save this energy for myself. Today I need to take care of myself for this reason. Jackie says, absolutely, Jackie, regarding saying yes or no. Let's see what you guys are chatting about. Alice says, I'm much better at setting boundaries, but I still feel guilty and yucky after expressing them. That's normal. That's working through a part of your shadow. So now, Mars in Cancer, what are you going to do with that yucky feeling? What are you going to do with that? Maybe explore it? Maybe Pluto, dive deep into it? Charlotte says, oh, I like that. Do it because I can. Yes, that's me. I'm in the loving me phase as well. Setting those boundaries is difficult at first, but it gets easier. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for the reminder. My challenge is in how I say no. My challenge is in how I say no. A work in progress. You got it. You'll figure it out. Try new things. Boundaries create positive self-care. Yes, they do, Helen. Boundaries create clarity. I love it. Hi, Sharon. You said, I joined late. I was trying to fill an application for a federal program to install solar panels here in Puerto Rico. The limit was already reached, but I believe I'm worthy of that benefit. So a space will open up for me. That previous card talked to me. Yeah, that's awesome. Your intuition knows that you want it, so just keep your attention tuned on it. I love it. So here's a recap. Pluto in Aquarius had us focus on our life force energy from Aphrodite. And I broke this down to Pluto rules Scorpio. Scorpio rules the reproductive organs. This might be asking to work. Oh my gosh, there's so much. And this is something that like I would want to look at someone's specific chart and be like, that's what that card was talking about. This could be, you know, like Pluto wanting you to dig deep into the Aquarius part of your chart and then use the nasty that you find to create. Life force is about creation. This could be looking into the Scorpio part of your chart, finding a message there for Pluto and Aquarius. Regulating your desires and creating from the unwanted energies. Pluto and Aquarius. Mars in Cancer brought us the Stargazer. This is about setting your sights on everything that you desire and just literally reaching for the stars and trusting that you can reach them. I love it with that boundaries card, the self-love coming through. This is specifically this week, is to take a look at your boundaries. This is something, so in Embody Astrology, it's the Patreon group that I have, which is open the whole year, so like you can join whenever. But we just had our first meeting a week and a half ago, introducing Aries energy. And to embody this energy, I invited everyone to try as many new things as you can. And if setting a boundary is new for you, oh my God, is that not Aries energy? That is awakening your inner warrior, Aries warrior energy, to stand up for yourself, to say no, to set that boundary. Helen, don't you just love the word stargazer? It has a great feeling as you say it. Yes, a stargazer. And Jacqui says Embody Astrology is awesome. Thanks, Jacqui. If you guys want to check out information about it, Linktree is in my bio. It's labeled Patreon Embody Astrology. Essentially, it is a bi-weekly group Zoom call where we just talk about what's happening with the sun. This is a whole zodiac journey of the sun moving through the zodiac circle. So it just started. We talked about Aries, the sun in Aries. All the replays are going to be on the Patreon page as well, so if you want to join late, you can catch up. And then actually, I forgot to mention this the last time I talked about Embody Astrology. It's still March. So anyone who joins in March, I am offering a video answer to 3 of your most burning questions regarding your natal chart. So I've had people ask me questions like, what's my next business move? Why am I feeling this type of way in my relationship? How do I move forward with my family? Like, why is my family weird? What's going on with my friends? So yeah, you can ask me 3 questions if you sign up in March, and I will video record my answers for you. That's like my favorite thing to do with astrology. I'm learning about myself still, and I'm learning that the pointed questions are where I excel. And it's so fun. It just makes me like light up. And I try to Saturn boundary myself on those videos, and then I end up just talking and talking and talking, and I get so excited. So I advise you to take advantage of that. If to just get the 3 questions answered, I feel like, yeah. Charlotte said, I heard Patreon was a big part of that big bank financial fiasco. Are you aware of that? I was not. Wondering if it will affect it. I don't know. I haven't checked in on real life news in a long time. I have one of my girlfriends who like keeps me posted on the big things that I should know, but I'm so detached from everything that's happening. I just trust that everything will work out. Alice says Kenneth Soares has a great boundary course here on Insight Timer. Thank you, Alice. Helen says, yes, there are more Brady Bunch boxes available in Embody Astrology. That's right. We want to get to the Brady Bunch squares. That was awesome. Jacqui, have a fabulous week and retreat, friends. See you next week. Thank you, Jacqui. Yes, I am departing for my retreat on Wednesday, and I will be back on Monday here on Insight Timer to let you know how it went and to talk to you about Mercury moving into Taurus with a question mark at the end. I think that's what we're talking about on Monday. Yes, Mercury moves into Taurus. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for all of the donations that you guys have given today. They're much appreciated. And I will see you on Monday, a week from today. Love to all. Namaste. Set your boundaries. Choose yourself in radical acts of self-love. Take care.